What is neo-evolution and what are its primary tenets? Harvey Fineberg describes neo-evolution as a guided, self-directed evolution where humans can choose what traits to enhance or eliminate. Furthermore, Bess extends that definition to include physiological traits and capabilities. Basically, neo-evolution encompasses the eventual ability to pick and choose what we're good at, how we look, what we're capable of, and also selecting or vetting those capacities for our entire lineage. Number 2, provide an example of technology that is altering or may alter human evolution. Electricity is a prime example of technology that has begun to alter human evolution. Electricity brings us light and power, two incredible capabilities. Light can be made to make unsafe situations safe and provide more awareness to potentially threatening ones. Countless lives are saved simply by working and living under the fluorescent glow of modern electricity. Electric power, however, is the main driver of neo-evolution. With it, we have computers, electrodes, and the ability to connect a human brain to a word processor. Just look at the example described by Bess in his article about Johnny Ray. Ray suffered a stroke which left him in a locked-in state, which means that he retained his mental dexterity but lost all control of his body. Bess details how neuroscientists inserted an implant into Ray's brain which, after months of training, allowed him to manipulate a computer into writing out messages using only his mind. This could cause genes that might cause inclinations towards catastrophic strokes to be weeded out less and adapted around by us. This is different from what Paul Root Wolpe calls civilization evolution, or adapting our surrounding environments because we are changing a part of ourselves and integrating a part of technology into our identity. Number 3, what are potential benefits of this type of technology? The obvious benefit is communication enhancement is giving the ability to communicate back to those who lost it or never had it. However, as Bess explores in depth, developments in healing usually lead to developments in enhancement as well. For instance, if a brain implant gives a paralyzed person the ability to communicate with a computer, the tech could be modified to give a healthy combat medic the ability to instantly relay information to the command center about combat wounded and fatalities, as well as the materials and transport needed in the field. This is one example of a very real possible pro of this technology. Number 4, drawbacks to this technology. Of course, much of this tech could improve and save lives, but it could also take away our autonomy. In his unsettling TED Talk, Paul Root Wolpe describes how various university researchers, as well as the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, have used brain implants to reverse the technology to give directions to insects and rats they are experimenting on, to make them do things. These are the examples of the first ever organic robots. On top of this loss of autonomy, there is potential for surveillance technology to be uploaded into our identities, as well as hackers gaining control of our bionic enhancement software, and by extension, us. This is the ultimate form of identity theft. Number 5, what are the moral and ethical implications of neo-evolution? In his article about the history and future of biological enhancement, Bess lays out the moral and ethical pitfalls of neo-evolution. We must remember to avoid prejudice, resentment, and spreading dehumanizing stereotypes about each other. Human enhancement has the ability to divide the human race like nothing else before. We must remind ourselves of our equal human dignity and the value we each possess. A book that explores this is the Wraithu series by Storm Constantine. In this book, it has people who are enhanced and those who aren't, and those who are not enhanced are viewed as less than. This is a dangerous theme that we might see develop as biological enhancement develops as well. A second concern is being informed and educated about human advancement. As Bess says, technological determinism is not inevitable. As consumers, we have a choice. We must critically examine our identities and choose what enhancements are personally, ethically, and morally responsible for us to make. Feed by M.T. Anderson is a book in which we explore this subject. In the book, we examine how humanity takes a pitfall down a very capitalistic, spiraling saga of human evolution. As they upgrade their identities, they lose their identities. And they don't even realize that they're losing their humanity in the process. Finally, the ultimate ethical implication is to not lose sight of our humanity in the process of neoevolution. Biological enhancements will make warfare more deadly and precise, but it can also possibly reduce our risk of chronic illness and of passing down bad traits like alcoholism to our children. But in the process, this could make us monsters as well, like in the book Thrawn by J. Robert King. In this book, it shows us how easy human enhancement can go from healing to enhancing and then spiraling to a vicious Darwinian cycle. In this cycle, the only thing that's important is proliferating enhancement and acquiring hive power. An empire of super capable human-based creatures without feelings or regret. We must obviously avoid this. Should we continue to pursue this form of technology? I was surprised to find so many books I had already read about this topic of neoevolution. As a sci-fi fantasy enthusiast, I can say, in hindsight, it's a common topic to read in these genres. I think that's because, as Harvey Fineberg says, we find the idea inescapably tantalizing and equally terrifying. Bess states the future is human enhancement, and I agree with him. We must approach it intelligently and with our morals in one hand, ethics in the other. Shutting down at this point will not stop advancements, and if we want to control our future as neo-evolved humans, we must, as Bess states, stay educated on the innovations taking place and aim to heal first, enhance second, and think and evaluate before moving on. Thank you.